Well,
Mhm.
it's you. We can't grow if we don't
Step
reflect.
into this discomfort. We have to step out from the comfort into something what is not really
Well,
comfortable.
it's true that the greatest growth comes from the greatest struggles, but we don't always want to be, challenged 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Yeah, that's kind of an unhealthy state to be in. Um, so we need some level of reflection, but we shouldn't let that completely replace just enjoying life as well. So, what happens if you
That
fear? What happens if you fear rejection?
I don't ask.
What happens if you don't ask? I mean, you don't get, right? If you don't ask, you don't get.
Hmm. Hmm. But more is like somebody promise you, like you mentioned with your neighbor, they promise you to come over and then they don't show up, or um,
And you
no, I
deal
have to.
and you deal with that by expressing your preference for what you need and at the same time understanding who they are, which is what I did
Hmm.
with my neighbor. I said, "This is me. This is what I will accept. This is who I am. Now, this is me. You're
Hmm.
different because obviously this element, this thing means something different to both of us. But that doesn't mean that we can't both grow." Yeah.
Hmm.
So if I say 2 o'clock, understand to me that actually means 1:55, right? But to you
Hmm.
it means 3 o'clock. Now I understand that means 3 o'clock to you. I
Hmm.
get it, and that's not wrong, and that's kind of cool, right? Because it's you, it's who you
Hmm.
are, and I'm a different person. So because it means something completely different to me. So I don't expect you to change who you are. I don't want you to change who you are. That's not in any way what I want. But to help me be me, you have to understand that how you live for you is not going to work for me. That you have to communicate to me that thing as much as is possible. And if you don't communicate that, it's going to be
Hmm.
difficult for us to do things together. But I don't have a problem with that because it's okay if you don't communicate as well, because that's still you, and I know that I can find somebody else to lean on that's more
Hmm.
orientated towards me. And it's it's not like it's not anything personal, because hell, like if I support, I don't know, if I support Liverpool football team and you support Manchester United, I'm not going to want you to support my football team. I'm going to respect you for supporting your football team, and understand that that's going to take you to different places than than where I'm at. And me myself personally, in the past, I had problems specifically expressing my preferences, and that led to other problems. And I've learned that it's necessary to it's necessary, I think, with all people to explain that you understand who you are, that you understand who they are, and that if you can both work together, then there'll be a solution. But if you can't both work together, that's okay, because you can both find other people to work together with, and that saves time, rather than being frustrated and pulling your hair out and trying to understand why somebody's not you. It's okay. I get it. I understand you're not me. I get it. And I'm
Hmm.
not gonna
Hmm.
and I'm not gonna be frustrated about it. I'm gonna put my heart on my sleeve and tell you this is how I feel about it. And take it any way you want, right? It's all cool with me, because we're different people, and the easiest thing for me to do, because I'm me, would be to react or explode or get angry about it, but because that's me. But let's just, if I put my heart on my sleeve, I don't have to do that
Mhm.
because vulnerability is vulnerability replaces inability. Yeah. So by being vulnerable, you open the door to possibility. And that is the only way to really connect with people.
What is possible?
Yeah,
Making smoke.
That's okay. Um,
Mhm.
so,
Hmm.
yeah, vulnerability, like a person walking into a shop. You don't want to force them to buy something from your shop. You want them to look around, see if there's something they want to pick up, and then go, right? And
Mhm.
that's the way to develop you know, a relationship with people, and understanding human behavior, understanding um, that again, when I did that interview with the computer games company,
Mhm.
um, another thing that came out of that is that around 50% of people will not play a game that they download onto their phone because it takes too long to download.
What?
Yep.
Because it takes time.
Yep, because it takes too long to download. Around 50%. So 50% of people who click on it and download it will, before it gets downloaded into their phone, they'll
Mhm.
actually become interested in something else. They won't wait and they'll go on to something else and not actually play the game.
Hmm.
I think the basic number is 30%. For a fact, it's at least 30% and in some cases 50%.
Wow.
This is the world we live in, right?
That's shocking.
Yep, yep.
Next.
But yeah,
Next. Next.
yep, abs- absolutely. And this is welcome to the real world, real commerce, the real economy. Um, and it's a brutal understanding that maybe what you've got to offer is of no interest to certain groups of people. And that's okay because then that
Yes.
gives you an
Mhm.
opportunity to refocus on what it is you are interested in. And if no one is interested in what it is that you're doing, you can either continue doing it for yourself or move on and don't expect too much from any one of those situations. But only and then if somebody plays a game on their phone, there's only a 25 if someone downloads a game and actually plays it, there's only a 25% chance that they will return the next day to play it again. So 75% of people who play it once never return.
Mhm.
The greatest fear we can have is that young people will not be interested in anything.
Mhm.
The fact that
It's
they
not
have an
really.
the fact that they have an interest in something
Mhm.
is good because that means those people who created that something understand and look at it another way. Somebody who doesn't know that kid, who's never seen that kid, who's never been with that kid, never spent any time with that kid, probably understands that kid better than anybody else
Oh.
because they're able to
Mhm.
provide something
Mhm.
that that kid
Well, they was. Mhm.
relates to and understands better than the people close to them. And
That's.
people don't see it that way because they're scared to see it that way because it is scary for them because it does mean you have to look at yourself.
Yes, and then this time it's a game. What is it going to be next time?
Well, when look, if you begin to understand that other people know things better than you know things about your own kids, then it's a sign that you better fucking take care of what you're doing because that's the same mentality that drug dealers would have, right? The drug
Mhm.
dealers know how to get their shit to your kids and they know every way possible around all the social security networks that exist within society. So that's why you got to protect your kids because
Mhm.
and you protect your kids by understanding them and listening to what it is that they're saying, because otherwise they will not be interested at all in sharing things, and they'll go in a completely different direction.
You're making me
A-
sad.
And that's
No,
that's
you're not making me sad. The facts you're saying are making me sad. I'm
well,
responding to
no,
those facts in an emotional way.
you're responding to your own experience
Hmm.
because something happened in your past that that relates to this. You've had an experience of something similar somewhere. Like we've all had our heart broken. That's why when somebody's heart gets broken in the film, we cry, right? Right. That and the sad music, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, we understand what it is. So when we make an emotional connection, then we need to realize that we understand something, because that's our emotions informing us of the truth of our own experience. The emotions are informing us that what we are listening to or experiencing relates to our own experience. They're informing us of the
Hmm.
truth of our own experience. They're telling us that they're reminding us that we're alive and we've been through shit. Yeah, that's why the, real real connections can always be felt. You know when a person's speaking passionately about something they love, or if they're just reading from a script.
Hmm.
You just know. You know instinctively um, with that.
Today, I shared something what happened at work when I was supervising children. It was there was that connection, that moment. Beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah, melting.
that's enough, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
That's enough, and um, that's like we all need to be. You know what that is? That is both availability and vulnerability together. The child is being vulnerable by expressing what they really want, and you are being available to understand that vulnerability.
Mhm.
And that's how connection occurs. And it, you would be amazed how many people are afraid of that kind of honesty in a situation. That's why people turn to drugs. That's why people turn to all kinds of escapism, because they're they're afraid of those kind of intimate situations, because they don't have a lot of people have no experience of real intimacy and what it means to be really close to another person.
Mhm.
Um, if you're very lucky, then you've got parents who are able to express intimacy, and um, you get to observe examples of it. If you're less lucky, you learn about it through your own experiences and your mistakes and friendships and good documentary films, maybe.
There
Any
was
any. Sorry, on
there
you
was
go.
an interesting question when you asked about how meant how did I learn how to maintain and create and start friendships, right?
Hmm.
But uh, like to answer it, I was just like speechless. Like I don't know.
It's a great question, isn't it?
Absolutely mind blowing.
Yeah. It's, it simple things are sometimes simple things are very much like that. Um, and then understanding that the the only way we do it, or the first way we do it, is through observation. We observe what other people do around about us. We normalize that. We internalize that, and then we copy that ourselves. and it makes, for some people, it makes it very difficult to form real relationships. I think I talked about real-time relationships with people, because a lot of people, it's my experience, a lot of people have agendas. Their relationships are not
Mhm.
real. They want something. Now, it's not always bad to want something, but you, I, for a relationship to be real, you've got to be open about who you are, what you're doing, where you're going, where you've been. You've got to be open about it all, right? You can't have a good relationship and have secrets, because
Mhm.
the secret is like some kind of virus that eats your brain. Yeah, it it always like a boomerang, right? It always comes back to hit you.
Mhm.
Yeah, always. So, um, and then being vulnerable and being safe within that vulnerability protects us a little bit from
But
from
how is it?
anything.
How is it possible? Sorry for jumping in. To be vulnerable and be safe with it. I mean, when you open yourself and you're vulnerable towards somebody else, still like, how can you? Are you safe, or you do it only? Then there is a rejection and acceptation. I'm okay to be vulnerable with you, but not with you.
You question it because you've never seen it.
Thank you. Mhm.
It doesn't matter what it is. It is always the same, because that which is alien to us, we tend not to believe in.
Mhm. Mhm.
We just don't. We just don't have the the experiences in the past that relate to the idea that that is even possible. For so many people, it does seem like an impossibility, because they haven't grown up being able to negotiate. Um, they've experienced some level of use or abuse, because they enter a relationship being completely open without setting any boundaries, without stating specific preferences. And as a result, um, there's not, as a result, nothing is clearly defined, and things when things are unclear and you don't have clarity, it's all cloudy, and you can't hold on to anything, and it it it, it's almost like a dream state, yeah, because you're not sure what's real and what's not, and um, you don't know quite what to hold on to, um, in that kind of scenario. So in my experience, and you see this in personal relationships, you see this in politics, or you saw this when what's the word? Incredulity, I think. Barack Obama has a speech where he's talking about the economy, and
Mhm.
he's saying that, oh, Donald Trump thinks he can do this with the economy, blah blah. He thinks you can increase, um, I don't know, GDP by 4% or something like. I can't remember exactly what the speech is,
Mhm.
and he's like, but that's impossible. How can anyone do that? And Donald Trump actually doubled that, right? He got into power and he doubled the economic output and strength of the economy to
Mhm.
twice of what Barack Obama said was completely impossible. And what Barack Obama was doing was talking about himself. He was saying that he didn't know he was talking about himself, but he was saying that this is impossible. Nobody could do it because he can't do it. But
Mhm.
but because his experience is a socialist principled experience, which tells you that that's impossible. Whereas Donald Trump's experience is an open market experience, which tells you it is possible. And so, if you haven't experienced it, it essentially doesn't really
Makes sense to
it's
you,
hard.
or it doesn't look possible
Oh yeah,
because of
yeah.
your previous experience.
When we understand that it's almost easier to achieve something with nothing than it is when you have something. Stop and think about that. It's almost easier to achieve something when you have nothing than it is when you have something. Because you're not connected, you're not trapped, you're not limited, you're not boxed, you're not categorized. Yeah, everything.
When you have actually nothing, you have everything, because you have endless chances, choices, opportunities to reach out, and something will come.
The rich man says to Jesus, "What can I do to follow you and support you?" And Jesus says, "Give everything away."
Oh.
And of course, the rich man thinks that Jesus is crazy. But what Jesus is, it's a simple expression of the understanding of possession. Don't let the things you own you. Oh my God, it's my favorite T-shirt. Fuck it. Who cares?
Who cares? You care.
Who cares?
Because it's your favorite T-shirt, and you make an emotional connection with moments.
With a T-shirt.
With a T-shirt. Yeah. Have you seen a Spark Joy? The Japanese closet advisor, or whatever. It's her description of what she does. She tells people to put everything. Let's start with clothes. All clothes in one place, in one room, on one pile, and you have to pick up each single item and feel if it gives you the spark of joy or not.
Oh,
if
yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Yes. I've been doing that anyway.
That's great
all
because
my life.
Yeah. That's great because that uses emotions to create the motion and the reaction and gets a person to do things. If you just told a person to get rid of the clothes, they wouldn't. But if you tell the person to feel what is right for them, they will do it because of the sort of the way we are as human beings. So yeah, that's a very interesting way to get things done. I very much relate at the moment to the emotional context to move things. Let me give you an example. If I tell someone I'm a business consultant, people don't understand that. But if I say something like I make people happier. So it is, and if you understand that the whole point of like a business coach is to improve the flow of things in order to increase people's productivity and ability and make them happier, because if they're not going to be happy, there's no point, right? It's just you're just going to make things worse for people. But if you say to people, I don't know, people respond better to things like, well, I'm a happiness coach. What does that mean? Well, it's just like, I put in place things that can improve people's quality of life. Structures, ideas, philosophies. I help them, I help them refocus, retool, remanage things. People respond to the element that happiness is one of those key underlying elements that's completely lost within the work market. Yeah, what would be a great interview question? Do you think you would be happy doing this job, and why would you be happy? It's
Mm-hmm.
wow, right? What a great interview question. Nobody, well, of course,
Mm-hmm.
nobody asks it because everyone's too scared. But that's where everyone needs to go. It's like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Fuck 5 years. I can't tell you where I'm going to be in 5 minutes, right? You know?
Yes, yes.
But
But
yeah, it's the questions about planning, right? The questions about planning and organization. I'll tell you. Somebody asked me, where do you see yourself in 5 years? How does that relate to the company? That depends how good you are to me.
absolutely agree. Mm-hmm.
Depends how good you are to me, because I know I can come in, I know I can do this job, I know I can do it well, I know there's things I need to improve, but I can improve those things. That's okay, that's life. But here's the
Mm-hmm.
question, how good are you going to be to me? If you're good to me, I stay. If you're bad to me, I go. It's in your hands.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like any relationship. Any relationship. Yeah? Like any relationship. Like, yes, but this is a business. Yeah, but we're human beings.
Mm-hmm.
If you're good to me, I'll stay. If you're shit to me, I'll go.
No, it's a business. I'm not asking you to cook me a dinner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look,
Mhm. But
it's a
like,
business, but
this
but we're
whole-
human, but we're human beings.
Mhm.
What is the point of being on this planet if you're not going to help people and make everyone's life better? Then you've obviously misunderstood the whole process. There's no point. There's absolutely no point if we're not going to make things better.
Mhm.
So, you know, my question to you is, why do you have a fear? As an employer, I would ask the employer, why do you have a fear that people might leave? Is your service not good enough? Is your product not good enough? Is your
Mhm.
training not good enough? Yeah, everything can be flipped because almost every question is an expression of some kind of fear. That doesn't mean it doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that we understand it.
Mhm.
Where are you going? What are you doing?
Oh.
Why? How much?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's an expression of fears, and that life is full of fears. It's okay, but let's not pretend that it's not, because that's like, well, would you be in this company in 5 years? I don't know. Is this company going to be here in 5 years? I don't fucking know, right? And what if you're a bad manager? I don't know. What if
Mhm.
what if you fall off a cliff while you're rock climbing or doing some stupid free time activity? I don't know,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
What if you get cancer?
Believe
People
it.
get cancer all the time. Yeah, yeah. I don't. It's. We want you to see the long-term plan. Look, yeah, long-term plans are great, but your long-term plan is defined by your ability to execute right now, right here.